is Mr. Ring going over the quiz number 6, Math 5, taken on November 8th, 2018, showing work in the space provided, box the answers and then possible. Match the following by putting one letter per blank. Vertex Form has the form ax minus h squared plus k. So one set of parentheses, that would be g. Intercept or factored form, that is a times x minus r1 times r minus r2. That would be two sets of parentheses, that would be a. And standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, no parentheses, that would be choice h. Number 2, match the following by putting one letter underneath the graph or next to the graph. One equation will not be used. So here, if you change this one to x minus minus 1, x minus minus 5, this tells you that your r value, so I'm writing the form right above it, here you have an r value of negative 1 and r value of negative 5. And the graph A here is positive 2, so it's opening up. So notice how none of the graphs goes through negative 1, negative 5. So this one's not being used. Here again, I'm going to write the form right above it. And then you can see that don't circle the subtraction sign because that's part of the formula. So it's opening up. It goes through 1 and positive 5. 1 and positive 5. So this would be choice E. Alright, let's go to the next one. Here I have vertex form, which we just did in the previous problem up there. So I'm going to change this to a minus sign. And then I'll write the form right above it. That way you can see it. So your A value is negative, means my graph's going to open down. My H value, again, notice how the minus sign is not circled, and this one does have a negative 2, and our K value is negative 4. So negative 2, negative 4 is our HK, which is called the vertex. That's either the highest or lowest point. So left 2, down 4. Now, if you pay attention, the only graph that's opening down is these two. And this point is not at negative 2, negative 4. And this one is. Pay attention, this one's counting by 2's, negative 2, and this one's counting by 4's. So this would be I. So again, write the letters and then you can kind of see, okay? So this one is ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is my y-intercept, and my a value means it's opening down. There's 21 as my y-intercept, opening down. So this would be letter H. Analyze each graph, then circle the functions which can model the graph. Describe the reasoning you use to either eliminate or choose each function. So what I'm going to do is figure out the form. So here I have no parentheses, so this is standard form. It means I have a y-intercept of negative 2, and my graph opens down. Opens down. So if my graph could look something like this. Whoops. There's negative 2. Something like that. So it could match this graph. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that one. So describe the reasoning you use to either eliminate or choose the function. Graph opens down and has a y-intercept of negative 2. This one, so I'm going to change the plus sign to a minus, write the form right underneath it. Should have been 3. And then we can kind of see that our H value is negative 6 and K value is positive 3. So left 6, up 3, graph down. So I'm going to circle this one and now describe the reasoning. So my reasoning is graph opens down, and vertex in, so this is quadrant 1, 2, that goes counterclockwise starting here, 3, and this is 4 in quadrant 2. So basically, yes, my graph opens up, and yes, my vertex is in quadrant 2. And question number 3, this is in factor form, 2 sets of parentheses. I'm going to change the plus sign to a minus minus, and then I'm going to write the form right below it, and then I can just do some circling. My a value is 2, so this graph opens up. My r value here is -1, and r value 2 is -4. So -1, -4, and this graph opens up. So my r values roots match. That's what the r stands for. So this part matches, but this does not. R graph doesn't match. The fancy word is concavity. The a value here is positive, and this graph shows a negative. So that side was worth 20 points. Alright, let's go over the back side. Let me zoom in there. Make sure to show all your work and box your answers. Question number 4 is multiple choice. Circle the function that matches each graph. Okay, so a couple of things is that here I have a y-intercept of a +7. So it matches those two. I'm going to reject that one. My a value is negative, so that means less than 0. So I'm looking for an a value that is negative. And because it's opening down, let's see, this one has negative and negative. So we're going to eliminate this one. Here, these are both positive. So it can either be either of these, let me double check that for you. Yeah, there's a typo. Either of these answers will match. For some reason there was like a plus sign there, and I took the question directly from your packet, which was number 2 on page 340, and then that one has a minus sign. So again, I would have accepted both of those answers. Question number 5, circle the function that matches the graph. So notice my vertex here is at 2, 0. And that's my h and my k. And my a value has to be positive. So if I write a times x minus h squared plus k, and just do the substitutions, let's say a 1. My h value is positive. Remember, I'm not cleaning that negative sign, so h value is 2 there, squared plus 0. So I just have to have a positive number in front. This one has a negative there, so I'm going to this one has plus 0, means you write nothing, so it can't be that one. We have these two choices, and it will be this third one. Is your correct answer. Question number 6, I said this was extra credit. Recognize that you have your roots here, so r1 equals -2, and r2 equals 3. So if you put that in the form of the factored form, we're just going to put in our values here. highlight this minus sign because it's confusing for students. So we're going to have a value, x minus negative 2, x minus 3, and then I'm going to change the f of x to be a y. So to be nice and clean, I'll have x plus 2 and then x minus 3. And in this problem, it tells you that 0, 6. So basically that means your x values are going to be, every x value is going to be 0, and a y value is going to be 6. So let's change all those. So now I have my y value to be 6. I'm trying to solve for the a value there. 0 plus 2, 0 minus 3, so 6 equals a. 0 plus 2 is 2, 0 minus 3 is negative 3, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 6, and you get a equals negative 1. So with an a value of negative 1, you can essentially just put it back right here. Because you already put in your roots. So I have y equals negative 1 times x, instead of x minus 2, x plus 2, and then x minus 3. So it's hard to see, but let's write that. Okay, so this is factored form. In this question, I made extra credit ones in standard form, which means that essentially you're not going to have any parentheses. So this, you're going to multiply inside a box. Let's put it way over here. So I have x plus 2, x minus 3, I get x squared. Multiply negative 3x, multiply 2x, negative 6, and then combine like terms. So I have x squared minus x minus 6, and then I'm going to distribute. You're going to get y equals negative x squared plus x plus 6 is the answer. We got that question, you would get extra credit. Number 7. This one says convert each quadratic function in factored form to standard form. You're basically going to do the box that we just did up here. So, save myself some time. I'm just going to draw the box right underneath one of the binomials. And I'll just write x plus 3 here. So x times 2x is 2x squared, x times 9 is 9x, 2x times 3 is 6x, and 3 times 9 is 27. So basically I get 2x squared plus 6x plus 9x plus 27. And then what I'm going to do there is just combine like terms here, add the coefficients, numbers in front, so I get 2x squared plus 15x plus 27. And this is our answer. Let's go up to question number 8. These given information in terms of the most efficient form you can use to write the function. Write standard form, factor form, vertex form, or none in the space provided. So the keyword in this one is roots. Roots basically refers to the r values. And this is factored form, so the answer is factored form. The visual of this problem, if you actually draw it, which is very helpful, you're going to have negative 3, 0, and positive 11, and you have 0.102. So your graph's probably going to look something like this. And that graph is, this problem would be very similar to solve just like the extra credit question. You see that? goes through the fruits, and then you're given some random point. All right, let's graph this one. Vertex at 3 is 7, so vertex means the highest point. So 3, 7, or lowest, minimum, and then 110. So I think the graph's going to be something like this. Now, the key word there is vertex, so that's going to be vertex form. And those are your answers. Hopefully these questions were helpful for you.
I love math. You don't love math? What's wrong with you?